Hey there, this is Matt once again. What about the other videos? Another paid request, this time from Vonte. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topic, review, commentary, re-review, randomness, whatever reaction, pretty much anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And Vonte wanted me to do a commentary on the 1992 film Batman Returns. So I have it queued up. Pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. And here we have the Warner Bros. Logo now. And nice touch with the snow falling down because this is a Christmas movie. As we're going to be shown the Penguin's origin, which I believe was made up for this movie. It was not really a big part of. Penguin's kind of just a henchman with just certain features. But, Tim Burton, oh, there you go, smoking the little bit. There's Paul Reubens. That's Pee Wee Herman himself, who, of course, worked with Tim Burton on Pee-wee's Big Adventure as the dad. I think originally they wanted Burgess Meredith because he was the Penguin on the Adam West show, but I guess Burgess Meredith was sick. So they got Paul Reubens here. Because then he had worked on Pee-wee's Big Adventure with Tim Burton. And the mom here was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as Simone. So it's interesting, you have a Pee-wee's Big Adventure reunion at the beginning of the movie. But I guess it makes sense because this one's definitely much more of a Tim Burton type of movie. That rubber duck there, of course, will be important later. You'll see a much bigger version of that much later in the film. But yeah, Pee Wee Herman and Simone. But yeah, Batman in '89 was such a huge, humongous hit. I mean, and that was a huge summer altogether. Back to the Future Part 2, Lethal Weapon 2, Ghostbusters 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, License to Kill, the James Bond film. And Batman was the one that ruled the summer. And I think at the time, Tim Burton said it was like his least favorite of the movies he had directed that time. And I believe him and Michael Keaton said they liked this film more because it's just more of a Tim Burton feel to it. And that's the thing, Tim Burton didn't want to do a sequel. And Warner Bros. Of course did, because a huge success of the first, and they had the same director back. And Tim Burton had done other films that were hits, Edward Scissorhands, and before Batman you had Beetlejuice, which was a hit. So Tim said, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to make it more control, more my own movie, which he did. And a lot of people got pissed off about that. I know that, I understand the studio wanted the Penguin because they thought he was like the second most popular villain after the Joker. And Tim Burton's like, well, what am I going to do with this guy? And then came up with this backstory. It was definitely a Tim Burton weird, quirky backstory. It's kind of tragic as well, just as a baby's just thrown away. But I mean, weird and quirky that like these penguins find him and all this stuff that happens. The score is very good in this. I think Danny Elfman did a wonderful job on the score. It didn't feel like just a repeat of the first one. And of course they incorporated Catwoman. Michelle Pfeiffer did a wonderful job with that. You have some noticeable character actors. Michael Gough back as Alfred. Vincent Schiavelli, he would be in 1990 film Ghost. Andrew Bernarski, he'd be Leatherface in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, as well as its prequel. It's a beautiful looking movie with the set design and the lighting. I forgot Stan Winston worked on this. Completely forgot. I know at one point they was going to have, I believe, Robin in this, like Marlon Wayans. And they actually hired Marlon Wayans. And then I think it was like at least a 2 or 3 picture deal, and then that was all cut. I swear I read somewhere that Marlon Wayans gets like residual checks for this movie, even though he wasn't in it. So, which is kind of weird. But I mean, I guess he signed a deal, and I don't know, when you sign this kind of deals, I don't know if they just pay you off or they try to get you into another project. Of course, John Peters' name came up there. I think one of the details of the for Tim Burton to come back is he didn't want to deal with John Peters. Because he did not like John Peters. Because there's that whole story about Superman Lives and the John Peters stuff that Kevin Smith tells. But yeah, when this film came out, I mean, it made money and it was a hit, but you tell that critics and audiences were a bit mixed because they either thought it was too weird or too dark, or parents were upset because they thought it was too scary. The company had to deal with McDonald's and Happy Meal toys. I remember there's like these Frisbees, and there was like the French fries themselves had the Batman logo on it. The French fry holders and the like little toys. But then if you took kids to see it, they'd be scared by the penguin, or you'd have the penguin biting someone's nose. You got people being electrocuted. You got all the times Michelle Pfeiffer dies. You got this one poor woman that gets thrown off the roof. These films were never kids' movies. That's the thing. Like, Tim Burton never said this was a kids' movie. It's just, stupid. Like, this is a gorgeous shot here, by the way. It's just really gorgeous. With the architecture, the scope of it all. But yeah, I've always enjoyed this movie. I always thought it was a good sequel. I always thought it was a worthy sequel. Dan DeVito is a lot of fun. Michelle Pfeiffer is very sexy, and to me still the best Catwoman we've had. Great to see Christopher Walken in here. Christopher Walken seems like he would just fit in a Tim Burton role. Even the design of like the cat thing, like I said, is very creative in terms of visuals. That's why there's a part of me that does wish we got that Superman movie with Tim Burton, like with him left alone. Because you think about like the pre-production of this, if he was telling, oh yeah, there's this penguin is biting people's noses off, and there's a big rubber ducky, and there's penguins with rockets, and like, what the fuck? This is gonna be the worst movie ever. I still think the penguins with the rock is a bit goofy, but there's Christopher Walken as Max Shreck. I believe the other guy is Michael Murphy. I think he's the dad in Shocker, Wes Craven's Shocker. I believe that's Michael Murphy. Because I saw his name. I think the dad in Shocker, my favorite Wes Craven film. And Michelle Pfeiffer does a good job as both this shy, inner shell Selina Kyle, as well as the sultry, sexy Catwoman. I do think there's a film that does get better with age. I really do. God, Christopher Walken just such a dickhead in the movie. Well, we're having housebroken Michelle Pfeiffer, but she makes a hell of a cup of coffee. And there's Andrew Bernarski as the son of Max Shreck, this big guy here to the left, well, your left of Christopher Walken. He was, well, we'll see him again. Of course, Christopher Walken, I mean, The Deer Hunter, The Dead Zone. He was even fun in films like The Rundown, Pulp Fiction. Oh, I mean, nowadays, he's kind of a caricature because of his accent. When I say accent, I mean like the way he talks. But still a damn good actor. I do wish we had gotten more movies of him as the lead hero of a movie. I mean, there are some. I mean, there's what, The Gods of War. There was one, I forget what it was, like action film. I forget what it's called. It's just, you watch this film, you look at each set, and you look at like the creativity and the details put into like the shot compositions of like the tree being in the middle of these bars, and the weirdness of these carnival guys. And I know Kevin Smith doesn't like these movies because he's done commentaries on these on YouTube and taught shit because it's not like the comics. Yeah, whatever. You're the same guy that made that piece of shit Yoda Hosers and piece of shit Clerks 3. Give me a break. And neither is the fucking some of the shit in the Dark Knight Nolan movies either, but you're fine with it in that. But whatever. I mean, there's Vincent Schiavelli with his the little monkey there. Like I say, it's just very unique with the type of bad guys here, like the motorcycle guys with the weird skull-like things, and you have this big guy here. And this is an interesting bit here. It's kind of like Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne just has nothing to do except just waiting for the time for the call. But that is a pretty damn cool reveal shot. Like, a good first impression of Batman. Like, that is really cool. Yeah, that guy there, that's Andrew Bernarski. As what, Chip? He's a guy who would be... He's a dickhead in real life, too. You tell he's like a steroid-abusing dickhead. Like, talking shit about Gunnar Hansen after he passed away because... No, I'm the best Leatherface ever! Whatever, dude. You played fucking Butterfingers and Hudson Hawk. You're not a bit tough fucking actor of a guy. Get out of here. I'm also reminded of these bad guys because you beat them up in the Batman Returns Super Nintendo game, which I played a lot back in the day and really enjoyed. I did. I really enjoyed playing that game back in the day. That's a lot of fun. The Batman Returns Super Nintendo game. There you go. I know that they also were fine with having Batman kill if he needed, and a lot of people were mad about that. It never made me that mad. There you go, some nice stunt word there. Flying all the way back in there. Okay, you don't burn me, I'm gonna burn you, motherfucker. Let's see how you feel. You wanna burn me, burn this. Burn right up your ass. There you go. Sayonara, sucker. I have no issues with that. And that is a cool looking. That is my favorite Batmobile look. Now this guy here, I think he's the guy in Detective of Beverly Hills. Come on, football player. And he also had a little fight with Steven Seagal in Hard to Kill. This guy with the clown. You missed. And if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he was the actual voice of Fender in Cyborg. What I mean by that is that the voice that you hear, because the actual actor who played Fender, the main villain in Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cyborg, they changed his voice because his voice was a bit too light, so they got another person to do the voice. If that's the guy I'm thinking of, the guy who just got knocked out was the same guy. Again, he was in I think he was on the TV show Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas. He was in the Taking of Beverly Hills as one of the main bad guy henchmen. He was in, like I said, Hard to Kill, where like Seagal has a foot chase going after him and fights and they break his neck or something. Hey, why not? Give it a shock. A little bit of taste of her coming out of her shell, so to speak. Now, I believe I read somewhere that the original idea was that apparently Christopher Walken was going to be the brother, you find out, of the Penguin. And that's really one of the main motivations of this hardcore revenge on Walken, was that he was the kid the parents kept while the Penguin was the kid that was thrown away. This is a cool camera. I would guess is a model. This is a great like model work. And so they have the camera going through all this. Could be wrong, but miniature. Like I said, I love the set design. All done in camera. Can't have this nowadays, because everything's gotta be fucking computer. And there's some good computer stuff, but a lot of it just comes off as just a lot more fake and phony. Yes, not every day you have fucking penguins like this. There's some big ass fucking penguins too. Some of them are as big as some of them are bigger than kids. Some big old fat ass penguins. And yeah, very different take on the penguin. Very much of more of a monstrous figure. And then you look at Colin Farrell and the Batman, again, very different type of penguin. I forget the other people that were up for the Penguin, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. But Dan DeVito, I thought, brought a lot of sort of energetic, just evil quality to it all. This is way before he found sort of a second life with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But just by this point, people knew Danny DeVito of films like Twins and what other big movies would he have been in? Romancing the Stone, and then you had the sequel Jewel of the Nile. I do like this. No, it's supposed to give you a splitting headache. I mean, I probably would still say my favorite Batman is the '89 film, but I still do like this one. I think I said that the new Batman was my second favorite. It probably, I would say, still is, just because I was pleasantly surprised by that movie. I like the idea of showcasing about it's not enough to just be a vigilante. You have to be a hero. As cheesy as some people may think that, I like that idea, and I like the way it was implemented. I thought that's the kind of like origin story I like. You don't have to go through I don't know how to put it. And then now there's more room to grow and get better, and I mean, if it don't take fucking 5 years to get a second one, and then there's only 2 movies, that don't matter much. Makes me wonder who the hell got that toxic waste into that thermos in the first place. Just like all this sort of blackmail to. I just feel Penguin in a way wants the power, wants to be accepted, all that jazz. See, that's what I mean. Like, this is not a kid's film. Like, look at this. Like, fucking. Someone's fucking hand right there. You flush it. I flaunt it. Like I said, definitely Dan DeVito's a lot of fun. I mean, he's nowhere near the Joker, Jack Nicholson, but he's still fun in it. But of the two, like Michelle Pfeiffer definitely steals the show. And then have this compare and contrast with the way she comes home here, and then afterward when she's pretty much close to dead as you can. We get a bit of establishment of her taking care of cats, even though there's not even really her own. That she's lonely. She has no dates. She kind of feels sorry for herself. She maybe thinks low of herself. Yep, there's the date now working out again. Also show a bit of her change of pace as well in terms of her character. Because you see her apartment, there's like little stuffed animal toys, and this is a girl that, maybe a little girl at heart, means well, but here she forgot someone wants the Bruce Wayne file. But of course, she has the bad bit of luck, and Walken thinks it's much worse for it. Yeah, things are not working out the best for this character. Yeah, story's not much. I'll try my best with a commentary. I just don't know what to say about it. I mean, how did I first see the film? It was on VHS tape. Not taped on a VHS tape, an actual VHS tape bought. I remember that cover. The bat, the cat, and the penguin. Three heads, top to bottom. And this was 1992. I mean, this is a year that, this was after Terminator 2, which was 91. But before Jurassic Park, which was 93. This is, I think, the same year as Universal Soldier. I thought Christopher Walken plays this off well because he could be very scary and intimidating, but then when you think he's faking, it's a nice sort of you buy that he's a bit friendly. Like, hey, I'm kidding, right? Hey. Yeah, you shouldn't say something like that. See, I'm sort of waiting for the moment right there. Like, disarm you. And there you go. And this is very violent the way it's done. Like, the way it's edited, like that. Pop, 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 pop. Obviously, you have to have those things to somewhat break or fall, so it's that 100%, like, what the fuck? Like, in a part of your brain, even though it's bullshit, but part of your brain's like, okay, that kind of helped her fall. But at the same time, close to death as possible. See, this is all you need. You don't need a fucking CGI cat with CGI fart gas coming into a person's mouth like that Halle Berry Catwoman movie. Like, here's all this stuff here. Now, again, what this has to do with her turn back to life, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those ways that there's really no way to explain it. I mean, how do you explain it without getting ridiculous? And I think in the comics, wasn't she just a cat burglar? That's why she was called Catwoman, just a cat burglar. There's nothing supernatural about it. But here it's a little bit different. What makes it work is that, like, that scene there, it's real cats. It's not, again, it's not like the Halle Berry film where it's just a fucking CGI cats and fake gas. What the fuck is supposed to be coming out of the CGI cat's mouth? And this is the way Michelle Pfeiffer plays it. Like, this is a complete 180 of before. Just completely out of it. the way she moves, the way she acts. Just not giving a shit. Just going through the routine, not thinking much of an iota about it. Yeah, I know Sean Young wanted to be Catwoman, but then she went in with all this like craziness, and they were just pretty much scared of her. But again, Michelle Pfeiffer worked out the best. Sort of her getting rid of her bit of innocence with these plushy toys or whatever, and just that maniacal glee to see just made a hell of a turn for the worse. Tear it all down. Yeah, don't need this shit. Yeah, this is where she's going to start making her outfit. Very cool looking outfit, too. I love the way the outfit looks in this of Catwoman. Very cool looking. It's like breaking all the shit. Reminds me a little bit of Batman 89 with the Joker, where they're just doing graffiti on all the paintings. Not this one, though. I like this one. The $1 bill. I'm just thinking like fucking Prince playing on the soundtrack, but no Prince in this one. But yeah, McDonald's had a big old bug up their ass because, oh my god, I mean, yeah, the Penguin had a fucking hand from a dead guy, like that death there. Pretty much death, and the way she looks is really creepy looking with that. It's not a bullet hole, but almost looks like a bullet hole, but it's, wow, you know. And all the other stuff. I mean, the whole finale is we're going to take all the little kids of Gotham and we're going to drown their ass in the fucking sewer. That's not really a movie for the fucking Happy Meal toys. I mean, that's like, I don't know. Fucking like, okay, imagine for anyone who saw Jason Goes to Hell, you know, the diner that made those Jason Voorhees burgers where the patties look like Jason hockey mask. Imagine if fucking Burger King or McDonald's, like McDonald's Happy Meal, said, you know what, we're gonna make for you little kids. Here's Jason Voorhees riding in a car with a machete, and here's some Jason burgers. And little kids like, what's that? Oh, here's the movie. There's some titties, and there's some blood, and the guy gets cut in half, and one guy gets his head cut off, and this guy in a wheelchair gets a machete right in his face. Yay, let's go get a Happy Meal. So yeah, McDonald's was upset. And then like, no, it's not the movie, just, you know, it's just Batman the character, even though the commercial said, from the movie. From the new movie. So the studio was unhappy about that because McDonald's would give them a lot of money. I find it funny that no one decides to go down there to get the baby. Like, no one does. Like, they're all chicken shit. Like, a baby just been stolen, and no one decides to go down there to help. Like, no one decides to run down there. Aren't there cops with guns? Like, no one decides to fucking go down that fucking sewer. They're just staring. And they don't know what's happening. It's like, but no one fucking decides to try to help a fucking baby that's been stolen. They're all standing there with the thumb up their ass, just staring at a manhole. Well, we can't go down there, so this thing can happen. This sort of the sympathy card. Like, oh, he's monstrous, but look what he did. He saved a baby, and what a tragic figure. Manipulation. And yeah, it has felt like a while since we've seen... I think that's... As much as I enjoy the film, the reason when I ranked them, I put this third behind The Batman and Batman 89 and The Batman is, as much as I liked it, because you get a lot of chunk of story with Michelle Pfeiffer, you get a lot of chunk of story with Dan DeVito and Christopher Walken, Batman at times gets lost in the shuffle, and Michael Keaton is such a good actor that it's sad that he doesn't get much to do as Bruce Wayne. Like the Batman, one of the things I liked about it is that Batman's in like almost 90% of the movie in some capacity. There's not many times where we deviate from Bruce Wayne or Batman, and you see more Batman than Bruce Wayne, and that was so refreshing. And here, it's too bad that, you know, Michael Keaton Batman kind of, there'll be chunks it feels like he disappears from the movie. Now, I get why, and like I said, I still enjoy the film. It is one of those things, though, that brings it down a little bit for me compared to those other ones I mentioned. Like I said, there's not much written for Bruce Wayne. I can understand maybe how Michael Keaton as an actor, these movies may not have been the most invigorating. I mean, it was the most successful for him as an actor, but not the most invigorating because, as Michael Keaton playing Bruce Wayne, he doesn't really get much to do, or other than the little romance with Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, I stand up from a chair, I look at a beacon. Okay, I'm watching TV. Okay, now a whole lot. Like, you look at Clean and Sober, that's definitely more of a Michael Keaton performance. There's even more stuff to do. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like Michael Keaton's in here as like an extended cameo either. And I believe Michael Keaton got paid a lot more. He got paid, I think, $11 million for this. Which, I mean, made sense. You think about just how much money. But, just takes Alfred's word for it. They had Michael Gough, Alfred, and these two, and the Joel Schumacher ones. It was kind of interesting where you have him, you have Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon, and Pat Hingle, he was in Maximum Overdrive, I always remember. You want a war? You got one. When the cops found him, he was standing there with his thumb up his ass and a grin on his face. He was also in one of the Dirty Harry films. I want to say it was Sudden Impact. I think that was one with the female vigilante who wanted revenge. And of course, Michael Gough there would later be in other Tim Burton films like Sleepy Hollow. And Michael Keaton did a great job as Batman. He was subtle in terms of his voice, and he had the right look for it, and his eyes just pierce through. And I do maintain that the closest I got to live action is Robert Pattinson as I'm like, he had those eyes that pierced through like Michael Keaton did. I think that's fairly important. Because as in the costume, there's not much you see of his face other than his eyes. And the voice, like, Michael Keaton's voice didn't sound ridiculous. It didn't sound like Christian Bale did. No matter whatever people want to say about it, you love it, you love it. Be my guest. But that was ridiculous as fuck in those Nolan Batman films. And yet, that is a major criticism I will put on it, because it's fucking Batman. And when Batman sounds fucking stupid, I think that hurts it. Kevin Conroy knew how to do it on the cartoon. May he rest in peace. Michael Keaton knew how to do it. Robert Pattinson knows how to do it. As I don't give a fuck about having a goddamn Zack Snyder influenced DC EU. Oh, Henry Cavill's back and we don't get Ben Affleck back. No. I want to see more Robert Pattinson as Batman. Get Bryan Cranston in there as Mr. Freeze. Or if you want a brand new villain, okay. Like Brendan Fraser is what, that Firefly? Fire Trap? What was it? Why can't he be in that? Brendan Fraser? He started in drama. There you go. Instead of doing that shitty Batgirl, take that character with the fucking flamethrower, have him go up against Robert Pattinson. You know, Brendan Fraser. Again, I've seen him play serious roles, School Ties, among others. Do that. There you go. Get Brendan Fraser as that Firefly. I think it's Firefly. Get him in that. The Batman 2. I'm sorry. It's not the movie's fault. When Dan DeVito said, "I was our number one son," it makes you think of Sonny Chiba's The Street Fighter. I don't know why, because I just remember, "You are number one man." I think that was the line. I don't know why. I know it's just sometimes my mind goes on weird tangents like that. But I know when this film came out, they said it made money, but the studio was not happy with how dark it was and how some of the critics were mixed. But Downs wasn't happy. So then what happened was... oh, wow, wait, come on, this is Catwoman. Jesus Christ. Now, of course, you'd ask where the hell that character learned martial arts, but it is what it is. Got a bit of blood in there. Michelle Pfeiffer just sold this. I am Catwoman. Hear me roar. I love the look. And again, I guess because of this, she automatically knows how to do flips and shit. Don't ask... I mean, if you're asking me an explanation as to... I don't know. I don't know what the cats did. How she could do flips and martial arts and shit. I don't know. You explain it to me. But I do know she looks gorgeous. And it's sultry and sexy and dangerous. And Michelle Pfeiffer pulls it off. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah. That's why Tim Burton was not asked to be in the third Batman film. To direct it. I mean, even in the interview they had for Batman Returns when they did the special editions, was it... I forget what year it was when those came out. 2005 or 2000... I can't remember when that was. But Tim Burton's talking, he's like, "You don't want me back, do you? Like, you don't want me back." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But you want to do sort of your own thing, right? You just want to do your own stuff. Yeah, you don't want me back, do you? Yeah, I get it. They didn't want to have another. That's why you look at Batman Forever. It's in their eyes a course correction where it's much more Happy Meal, toy edit, toy friendly. And I'm not big on Batman Forever. I don't hate Batman Forever. I wouldn't say I don't hate the film. I don't. But I'm not a big fan of Batman Forever either. There's aspects I enjoy. I don't think Val Kilmer is that bad. Jim Carrey is kind of fun in his own way, although very over the top. How do I put it? I like some of the music, like the U2, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. And Batman Robin is a catastrophe. Now, granted, you can laugh at that catastrophe, but it's still a fucking catastrophe. Now, I'm not one of these guys to sit here and say I read the Batman comics. I didn't. I did not. If I did, I'd be full of shit. I did not. I just didn't. The way I got into Batman was this one and the previous movie. Like, this is how I knew about the Batman character. Watching Batman 89 on VHS, watching this on VHS, seeing the commercials on TV, and they're selling, like, I don't know, Diet Coke or whatever the hell it was. Like, that's the stuff that got me into it and made me a fan of it. Now, if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm trying to find some information. So bear with me on this. One thing I want to mention before I go on is I know, like, Bob Kane got the main name at the beginning of this film because Bob Kane, who's a fucking dickhead, fuck Bob Kane. He's a fucking asshole that took all the credit for every goddamn thing when Bill Finger actually did a good chunk of it. I mean, Bill Finger did a lot. Like, just to go through what Bill Finger did. He was out to really did the Ghost Rider styles on many comics, and his name was sadly forgotten. But, so I want to get this right. Bob Kane had a character named Batman who had reddish tights, no gloves, no gauntlets, small domino mask, swinging on a rope, stiff wings, look like bat wings. Bill Finger offers such suggestions as giving the character a cowl instead of a domino mask, a cape instead of wings, adding gloves, removing the red sections from the original costume. Bill Finger turned him into a scientific detective. Bill Finger was the one to make him more of a detective. Bill Finger thought of Robin. He helped create Joker. I know there's a list somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, them being silent on it. Bob Kane had rough ideas, but Bill Finger was the man behind Batman. And like, this is a guy that died penniless and broke, and Bob Kane had taken all the fucking credit, and yeah, his family didn't get much shit, and it's just one of those things. Like, this is a guy that had so much. There's a documentary called Batman and Bill, came out 2017. That if you're at all, it's a must watch. Batman and Bill. It's such a infuriating. Not oh there you go, biting the nose. There's your Happy Meal toys. Come get, that's ketchup, kids. Don't worry, that's ketchup. You want some more on your fries? But yeah, you come to realize if you watch that just how much Bill Finger was important, and without Bill Finger, there would not be the Batman that you see consistently again and again and again. And in fact, see that Bill Finger had more to do with than Bob Kane. Like, Bob Kane had an initial idea, but then Bill Finger worked most of those details out. And it's one of those infuriating things. It's like, god damn, man. Again, go watch Batman and Bill, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But Bill Finger, like I said, he's the one that made Batman more of a detective. He's the one that came with Robin, helped come up with most of the villains like Joker, and I think even Penguin, and so many other details. It's crazy when you look at it. Fucking crazy. So that's why I say fuck Bob Kane. Because, like, Bill Finger died, like I said, penniless and broke, and he, like, died in his sleep, and he was unhappy and depressed because, think about it, you put all this work and time, and you helped create this character. You're one of the big parts of it. Many of your ideas is signature to the character, and you give him none of the money, none of the fame, none of the prominence, and Bob Kane knew about all this and didn't say jack shit. And for years, you think when Batman 89 was coming out, do you think Bob Kane was talking about Bill Finger? No. When this film? No. That's why it's created by Bob Kane. That's it. And imagine Bill Finger's family knowing about this, and what are they going to say? They're just a beleaguered guy or gal and family member, and they're just sad that I didn't get they just want more money, they're greedy, they're blowing things out of proportion. How many movies, superhero movies, do you have a little dog carrying a damn grenade? I looked at this film, I love the way it's lit. I mean, again, you watch this film and there you go. Nice. You could do that in the video game as well, Super Nintendo. We could grab two people and knock them together. Ooh, nice. It'll beat the shit out of them. I mean, it's not fucking John Wick, but he's still kicking some ass. Nice headbutt. Oh, you get that really cool batarang here. This is cool, like, camera work. I know the dog grabs it, but this is like cool camera work because it follows it. This is almost like a evil, like Sam Raimi shot. Ooh, right out of his stomach. Give me that bomb. Now, I believe this big guy coming up is Bull Hurley from Sylvester Stallone film Over the Top, who's the main opponent for Sylvester Stallone at the end. Winner takes it all, loser takes a fall, gotta take it over the top. Love Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Speaking of love, goddamn, skin tight, sexy, Jesus. Nowadays it'd be considered, oh, it's sexist and just using her body. I mean, it's a woman who's proud of her body, and you could be enticed by it, but then it's up to you. You can still think someone's sexy, but treat someone as a gentleman as well, or be a gentleman as well. Now we got like Barney Fife and his twin here. Does they punch a guy and throw? I love that. Yep, that's Bull Hurley from Over the Top. A lot of people got mad at this, but I love that. I'm sorry, I love that. I get the principles, like maybe someone's like, hey, Batman doesn't kill, and they enjoy those principles as part of the comic. I get that. I do. Maybe one day they'll do a film with that nature. But then you always don't get that, not all, but you always don't get that part of the audience going, what the fuck, dude? You should have killed him, man. What the hell? You know, now the guys don't come back. And if he cuts back and kills 2 or 20 or 200 people, it's your fault. There's always going to be, and I know because I'm one of them. I'm one of them that thinks that way. You're not the mayor. Not yet. Things change. I know that just turned around too, where Batman will say, things change. You really don't think you'll win, do you? Things. Yeah. Exactly. Where does he get those wonderful toys? And this is another cool thing about this, is just making Gotham a character unto its own. With the architecture and the lighting, the design. Makes it stand out. Of course, playing it off. There you go. Yeah, and it's not a kids film. You're not going to have a kids film and have someone go, life's a bitch and so am I. Oh, he's finding like a soft spot from the armor. Yep. Saved by kitty litter. That's another little motif, is that she does have multiple lives. But nice little first encounter, that bit of a sexual tension, so to speak. And what's sad is that they're bringing Michael Keaton in. You know they brought Michael Keaton in because of nostalgia. You know, DC saw Spider-Man No Way Home. They saw the humongous box office that I got and said, "Oh, we want some of that." They had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. We'll give Michael Keaton. Only we don't do it now for a Batman Beyond movie, but we don't do it for a Flash movie. And then we don't put him in Batgirl. And say, well, this is the guy we don't use in a couple movies. And he'll pop up for, I don't know, 5 minutes here. Probably in the Flash, he would have like a good chunk. And then probably like Batgirl, I don't know, 5-10 minutes and boom, boom, boom. And that'll be a selling point to get people in the theaters and help propel this new wave of DC. And then a complete clusterfuck. I mean, The Flash, Ezra Miller, who's a fucking piece of shit. And tremendous piece of shit. Just an entirely horrendous piece of shit. Fuck Ezra Miller. And that's why The Flash got delayed and all these problems, and they don't know what to do with it. And I think they will release in theaters. I think the marketing is going to be heavily focused on Michael Keaton. Even though now I've heard they don't cut a lot of his scenes out. Like Michael Keaton's scenes out, because I don't know if it's Michael Keaton's choice. I don't know if it's the other choice saying he doesn't want to be part of this shit anymore. What the deal is. But apparently now there's rumors that they're cutting a lot of Michael Keaton's Batman scenes out because now they're moving away from that. And then Batgirl got dumped. Completely fucking dumped. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They really don't. And then what else? There's So Batgirl, he was in that, it got dumped. The Flash, he was in that. And again, there's rumors that they'll cut his scenes down, which is stupid. Like, even if you're not going to use them anymore, why? The one thing people want to see, you don't cut those scenes out. You tell me how that makes any iota of fucking sense. The only reason people will see the new Flash film is to see Michael Keaton back as Bruce Wayne Batman. Which means you should put every fucking image, every fucking second of that footage in it, not out of it. Jesus Christ. And it's like all this time and bit wasted. You could have just done another Michael... So, I'm the guy that's tired of sequels. As much as I've said that, and I do maintain that, if someone told me you did a capable director, and I looked at DC, I looked at the fact that I liked Joker, I liked The Batman, I liked the new Suicide Squad, you did a capable director, capable writer, and said, we're going to do The Dark Knight Returns with Michael Keaton as Batman. That would be interesting. That could, I mean, but then you can't because stupid at. But don't let it be part of DCU. Be in this universe. In this universe, you could fucking create anybody as Superman. It's this universe. Hell, you have bring Billy D. Williams back, just put him as Two-Face. Because you would go as a sequel to Batman Returns. Here's Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. Here's, blah, 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 blah. Dark Knight Returns. Hell, he'd have a fucking nightmare where he sees Joker. Or hell, you'd have some, I don't know. Of course, they probably fucked that up, so maybe that's better it didn't happen. And just leave it alone. That's another difference between the comic. I mean, she's called Catwoman, but she didn't start acting like a cat, like bathing herself. And that's a bit weird that like she literally like doing that like a cat would. But I just sort of this psychological state she's in, she thinks of herself in that manner. And she's very sexy doing it, I'll say that. Now, I looked at Tim Burton's filmography. You've had 84 Frankenweenie. I don't think I saw. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I enjoy that film. Beetlejuice. One of my favorite Tim Burton movies. Really enjoy Batman. I like Edward Scissorhands. I like Batman Returns. Ed Wood is probably my favorite Tim Burton film. If I had to think about it for a bit, yeah, I would say that's my favorite Tim Burton film. I love the way it's done. I thought Johnny Depp did a good job. Yeah, people like Bill Murray and other people in it. It's a interesting story about filmmaking. Only the guy is the worst director ever. Mars Attacks I could not get into. I wanted to get into it, but with all that cast and then just, I don't know. I would have preferred it was more like Dead Alive, Bad Taste type of look, humor, violence. That seemed like something that Peter Jackson would have been a better choice than Tim Burton. Sleepy Hollow I do enjoy. That's probably the last great Tim Burton film was Sleepy Hollow. Planet of the Apes is definitely one of his worst ones. That was a terrible remake. I know at one point it was going to be Oliver Stone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that would be interesting. But yeah, Planet of the Apes from 2001, did not like the fucking Marty Martinez Funky Bunch being the lead, and it was a very boring story. The action scenes were boring. Some of the makeup effects were pretty damn good, I'll give you that, but other than that, and the twist ending, it comes back, but Abraham Lincoln, the monkey, whatever. Pretty much showcasing that the bad guy went back in time and changed all of history. So, went back in time, changed history, and now throughout the Civil War, it wasn't, Abraham Lincoln, it was a monkey and whatever. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I could watch that Tim Burton film. I could watch it. He didn't direct it, but I do like Nightmare Before Christmas. Sweeney Todd is there. Alice in Wonderland, I don't like. Dark Shadows, I do not like. Dumbo, I've only heard bad things. Wednesday, I don't know. I don't care about an Addams Family TV show again. So my top Tim Burton films would be Ed Wood is 1, Batman 89 is 2. I'd go with, Beetlejuice 3, Batman Returns 4, and no, I like Sleepy Hollow a lot too. So let's go with Ed Wood 1, Batman 89 2, Sleepy Hollow 3, Beetlejuice 4, and Batman Returns 5. Because I do quite like Sleepy Hollow. And, Michael Keaton here, I mean, damn good actor. Been a good actor for the longest time. I mean, I remember when he was strictly a comedic actor. You doing films like Night Shift and Mr. Mom and Gun Ho and Beetlejuice. And then it was around the time of doing Clean and Sober where you did more serious stuff. And then did Batman. You have Pacific Heights. You have One Good Cop. I'm trying to think. Multiplicity, that was with, I believe, Harold Ramis. Was it Harold Ramis? I forgot he was in Out of Sight and Jackie Brown. Because it was Jackie Brown and he played the character in Out of Sight. Desperate Measures, he was doing it, but the rest of the film wasn't that good. White Noise is definitely the worst film he's been in. Easily. The other guys, it was fun to see him in there. He was entertaining as the boss, who's a big fan of TLC. Don't go chasing those waterfalls. I'm still, my friend Michael CP, I am surprised he has not done a Michael Keaton marathon. I mean, like a full-blown Michael Keaton marathon, going through all of his stuff. I mean, whether it be My Life with him and Nicole Kidman, you have Speechless with him and Gina Davis, and you even have Christopher Reeve in it. So it's interesting. You got Batman and Superman in the same movie, Speechless. Yeah, Multiplicity was Harold Ramis. Which, that was a big bomb when that came out. I mean, in the past few years, he's been some really bad ones, like RoboCop in 2014 and Need for Speed. He's been some critically acclaimed ones, like Birdman and Spotlight. And he was in one like Morbius. I did play Bruce Wayne Batman and Batgirl in the Flash, and who the fuck knows about that? Shit. I'm just curious about the Flash now. The Flash is moved to June 23, 2023. A lot of time for the visual effects work to be completed. Following several controversial incidents and arrests involving Ezra Miller throughout 2022, Warner Bros. Discovery made him feeling mounting pressure to consider differing options for the film after previously hoping that its delayed release would help avoid the controversy. In August, the studio was considering the following options. If Ezra Miller received professional help, they could give an interview explaining his behavior and then do a limited press for the film, which would be released as planned. If he did not receive help, then they could be excluded from all press for the film and the role would potentially be recast for future projects. Or if the situation with Ezra Miller got worse, the film could be cancelled as a last resort. The latter would be an unprecedented move due to its large $200 million budget, though it would come off after Warner Bros. Discovery had already canceled the near complete $90 million Batgirl that was being produced by the streaming service HBO Max. The studio was not considering replacing Miller with another actor in this film due to them portraying multiple characters appearing in nearly every scene. The film was considered to be key for the studio's future DCU plans and had been received well during test screenings despite Miller's legal troubles. It had received positive responses from the studio. They were committed to releasing it in theaters. Ezra Miller released a public apology through their representatives soon afterward. And then Batgirl. No longer planned to release Batgirl due to the company's cost-cutting measures and a refocus on theatrical releases. In May 2021, the film was confirmed to be an HBO Max original. So, okay, kind of like how Netflix has Day Shift and the Gray Man stuff for just for Netflix. This is supposed to be just for HBO Max. And here that poor girl got fucked up and they blame Batman for it. Or they're getting there. Now, granted, I don't know why she can't just hop down. Or just fall down. Like, tip over and fall, lady. You may hurt your arm and bruise it, but... Like, why didn't she just tip over and land on her arm? A broken arm is better than a broken everything. So she's a bit stupid. Again, like... Why did that girl just stand on the ledge? Why didn't she just go this? Or this? Like, that doesn't make any sense when you watch it again. It's like, come on, girl. Even if your hands... Whatever, just tip over. Do a barrel roll, whatever the fuck. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, taking advantage of him when he's knocked down. This is just going to be like the sequel to Coming to America when Eddie Murphy's character got raped. Although Michelle Pfeiffer, I mean, I don't know. I might let her do that to me. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, as long as I'm alive after it. I don't know why he doesn't try to capture her when she was on the ground. I guess it's his time to leave. Or just knock her out, tie her up for authorities, but whatever. Just no time for that, Dr. Jones. Also, I don't know why he's gliding down there amongst the crowd. Like, is there no other places to go? It's kind of like when you're playing Batman Arkham Asylum. Don't dive into where everybody's at. Dive to the side and sneak through. But it says here with Batgirl, the decision to not release reflects our leadership's strategic shift as it relates to the DC Universe and HBO Max. Warner Bros. Discovery felt the film simply did not work and went against the new desire mandate from CEO David Zaslav to make DC films big theatrical event films. It reported that this put Batgirl amongst the most expensive canceled cinematic projects ever. Test screening responses were negative, which could be a factor. Collider's sources described the film as a huge disappointment that looked cheap in comparison to other films. They said that spending an additional $7 to $9 million during post-production in an effort to bring Batgirl to the level of other theatrical DC films such as Shazam, Fear of the Gods would be fruitless. Variety denied this. That was part of the studio's large cost-cutting measures, given the budget increase from 70 to 90 million, and the desire for DC films to be theatrical blockbusters. So pretty much people just, Warner Brothers Discovery had concluded that writing off Batgirl for a tax break would be the most financially sound way of recouping its costs instead of moving the film to theatrical releases with additional investment, or releasing it on HBO Max. Warner Bros. Discovery specifically wanted to take advantage of a purchase accounting maneuver related to the Warner Media Discovery merger and related strategy changes that had to be invoked by mid-August. Hamada, big guy in Warner, was upset, considered resigning, but agreed to stay at least until Black Adam's release. The cast and crew did not learn of the cancellation until after the New York Post broke the story. Man. Yeah. It seems like no one wants to tell the full story. It's everybody else's fault. It's a bit dip maneuver by one, it's a blah blah of another, and blah 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 of another. And this was always an interesting idea to take control of the Batmobile. Interesting way of doing, like, different type of a car chase. So, like, you're trapped within your own tank of a car. I look at that. All that done for real in camera. Real cars being upended. No, real stunt people getting out of the way. Done for real. I keep harping on. I harp on that because this is how we used to do it back in the day. This is how people used to do it back in the day. And it looks real. It's because it is real. You cannot get more real than real. How many times I say that? It makes me wonder who took the time to build that toy Batmobile car for a Penguin to use. And of course, that CD is meant to record so we can use it later for the Penguin sorry ass. Why this lady decides to just stand there and not move, I don't know. just deaf or dumb or both. Just the way DeVito's getting so pissed about it. Like I said, I think more newer people remember him now for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's been going on for quite a few years now, like a lot of years. And the few episodes I've seen that has been pretty fun. That's a nice little bit of that comedic point of Michael Keaton. Now I'm a little worried. Like, that's a nice little detail showing a bit of humanity and humor with Batman. So is that just dead serious 100%? That's a cool effect. Turn to this sort of motorcycle type of thing. Very cool. A lot of some of those wide shots have a bit of a like matte painting on the sides. Whereas that's a thing that's long gone is matte paintings. But I miss that type of stuff. I really do. Maybe they feel because of the way it's shot now with digital that it's even more viable to look like a painting. Yeah, I mean... Oh, I didn't even mention that Michael Keaton they wanted back for the third one, but I think he looked at the script and said, this is shit. I think it's one of those things that by that point, that would be, what, 95 Batman Forever came out? This was 92, so by that point he had done a couple films. Which, sadly, other than maybe Pacific Heights... When you look at the 90s, the only films that were hits, at least early 90s, other than Pacific Heights, was the Batman films. So maybe a part is like, maybe I'll stick with this to get some box office clout so I can continue making movies I want to make. But again, I mean, Speechless didn't do anything. What was that one movie I mentioned? My Life didn't do anything. And then later on, Multiplicity was a big bomb. And then... I see he looked at the script and thought it was just Batman Forever, just too silly. And he had a point. He did have a good point. And they just really wanted to... That's why I'm so surprised they got Michael Gough and Pat Hingle back as Alfred and Commissioner Gordon, because... They didn't have Billy D. Williams back as Two-Face. They didn't keep with the Marlon Wayans Robin motif that was going to be. They were fine with recasting Batman, and so it's just... no Catwoman ever come back. I think for about 5 minutes there was talks of a Catwoman movie, and then that became the Halle Berry one, which is a awful, ridiculous, shitty-ass movie. Yeah, back in the day when you used CDs. Well, I mean, in 92, this was the era of, VHS tape still. Like, this came on VHS tape. I mean, that shows that Penguin's an asshole, but it doesn't really showcase Batman as innocent, does it? That Batman didn't kill the girl. But, just to fuck over and fuck up Penguin. this guy that want to be accepted and be the mayor and have the power, and then comes the realization that he fits being a monster. You want a monster, you got a monster. So I'm just going to be the monster you want me to be. There we have this winter wonderland. There he is. He's pretty fat. You think you'd be able to shoot him? And yeah, I know there's no talk of Kim Basinger's character. I think there's a bit of dialogue that it didn't work out because she couldn't get used to his life. And also, there's no Robert Wuhl. I mean, hell, in the first film, you don't even know if he lived or died at the end of the first film. Because wasn't there footage that his character died and then they just cut that out or something? But I can't remember. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get any information on that. Sorry for the silence. Because, yeah, I don't know what... Like, Robert Wuhl will... I mean, I guess some people don't care, but... I thought I remember hearing... I guess they figured now we don't need to bring that character back since we're not bringing Vicky Vale. Because I believe I read, like, there was a writer that's like, I don't want to think too much about the first film. Sort of, be our own movie. So that's one of the reasons why you don't have Kim Basinger come back. There you go, that. They all float down here. They all float. Why the fuck did you tell me that before, Bruce? Out there ripped up the shit. This is 7.1 IMDb, so there are other people that do enjoy and quite liked this sequel and liked its darkness and its quirky and weirdness. Compared to like Batman Forever gets a 5.4, which I understand that. Batman and Robin 3.7, I understand that, so I can't disagree with that. But this is just a 7.1. And I think the 89 is like a 7.5 on IMDb. Christopher Walken is just such a dickhead of a character. Yawn. Just fucking walks away. Dan DeVito was advised by friend Jack Nicholson, aware of his own financial success, to take the role of the Penguin. And if you hear that, it's one of the cats being stupid. Because sometimes one cat wants to fight another. So if you hear a growl, that's what it is. It ain't a bear. It ain't a cocaine bear or anything. Makeup took 3 hours to be applied for the Penguin. Removed one of the cabinets in the makeup trailer and put in a laserdisc machine and a TV. He brought his favorite movies and watched them in the mirror. Wow, a laserdisc. Whoops. And see, like, this has so much more of a nice sexual chemistry compared to what they tried to do in Dark Knight Pisses with Bruce Wayne and Catwoman. And even the new Batman, like, that Catwoman was that, but this is easily the best Bruce Wayne Catwoman live action wise that we've seen. The animated series had some good stuff as well. But this is definitely a scene that sticks out where they kiss and they realize who each other are. I think Michelle has the line, "Are we supposed to start fighting now?" Or it's confusion. See, that right there is a nice, genuine reaction from Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know who I am anymore. And so that frustration. Oh, the line of dialogue, that's what it is. See, that's a great moment, great scene there. Does it mean we have to start fighting? Look at these stunt people. Look at that, those stunt people. But probably with the help of wires and stuff. But man, like, that's how you do it for real, man. Like, nowadays, it cut to CGI people flying like a video game. But you look at that explosion, you see the impact in the people flying. You go, whoa! Not, video game. See, that's the thing, like, that's what we've gotten away with in movies today. What can we really be wowed about in the stunt work? I mean, aside from like when John Wick type of movies or some of the action scenes in Day Shift and stuff like that wows me. One of the few things of newer films that does wow me. But I mean, these bigger films and superhero movies, CGI explosions, CGI stuntmen, CGI flying around, CGI this, CGI that, looking like a video game, PS4, PS5. It just not as impressive, or it's not as a wow factor for me when I saw the shit being done for real with people risking life and limb and physicality in these trials and tribulations of making these films. Of course, that rubber duck, like I said before, you saw that at the beginning of the film, a much smaller that in front of the cage when the baby pulled the cat in. You saw that little rubber duck, and here we have a much bigger version of that. Who makes this stuff and where he got some of this stuff, I don't know. Like, who makes the penguin umbrella stuff? Maybe some of those carnival guys. I don't know. Let's see. Looking into Michelle Pfeiffer said her Catwoman costume was vacuum sealed when she was fitted in, so she actually had only a short amount of time to perform before she would have to have it opened, or she'd become lightheaded and pass out. Warner Bros. Had to constantly submit new Catwoman posters for various cities as many of the bus stop ads were being stolen. It got so bad that the police officers had to patrol bus stops in order to catch perpetrators before they could break the plexiglass containers. The large-scale Catwoman bus ads are now worth a great deal of money. Casting director says Tim Burton was uncomfortable with casting Christopher Walken because that man scares the hell out of me. But it must have grown since Walken was casted in Sleepy Hollow, and he was going to be Brainiac in the Superman Lives movie, which that would have been interesting to see. Michelle Pfeiffer got $3 million for this movie. Let's see. Yeah, as I'm talking about, like the whole goal, the whole scheme was to steal little kids and fucking drown their ass. I mean, again, this is not something for McDonald's and Happy Toys. Shit. Tim Burton and Michael Keaton prefer this film to the first one. Keaton said that the sequel spoke to me more, and they greatly enjoyed filming it. This is the only sequel Tim Burton has made. The first draft of the script was intended to be a direct sequel. There'd be gift shops selling fragments of the destroyed Batwing, revelations into the past of the now deceased Chad Napier, Bruce Wayne proposing the Victory Vale by the end of the film. But Tim Burton did not want to make a direct sequel, so the script was rewritten and a new Gotham City was designed. Let's see. It was intended the character Robin be introduced in the film. It was supposed to be Tim Drake. And the costume was redesigned to fit into the Dark Knight's gritty, dangerous world. Kenner Toys even produced a corresponding action figure, but when Robin was eventually rewritten, Kenner released the toy anyway as the character newly rendered in the comic books. Let's see. Let's see, I'm trying to see. Michael Keaton revealed that his favorite scene was when his character smiles at the tattoo strongman after putting the bomb on him. Let's see. And the climax, where the army of penguins march on Gotham, 12 teen penguins and 24 Blackfoot penguins were used, and they were multiplied optically to make it appear that there were many more. The penguins wore lightweight harnesses with rubber-tipped rockets. The trainers used fish to coax the penguins to move. Now it says here that during the What the Fuck podcast of Mark Maron, Michael Keaton stated he never watched a completed movie. He went on to explain he only took the role because he needed money for a real estate deal. So that's the thing, like, I always do, like, Michael Keaton was never big into these movies. Because, like I said, as an actor, I'm sure he just felt like there wasn't much for him to do. So, I think that's why he was more into roles like Beetlejuice, among others. Why did he take the new stuff here for The Flash and Batgirl? Number one, money. Number two, to reintroduce to a new audience. Number three, because seeing how superhero stuff are so goddamn popular that everybody's trying to get in on the action. You get not only a lot of money, but you get this new crowd of people to notice you and remember you and maybe look back on your older films and give you clout. Hey, I'm still here. Hey, I still exist. Now maybe I can get into other movies. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're reminded that I'm here? Cool. Yeah, this whole Penguin stuff is a bit silly, I will say that. I mean, definitely interesting and different. I love the usage of the bat plane, or the plane, the going through the sewer. What do you call that vehicle? Going through the sewers. But yeah, again, the Penguin stuff is a bit fucking silly. I can admit that. But it's definitely quirky, like I said, definitely a quirky, interesting choice. It's not typical, I'll say that. See if... See if I can find something more quick. Marlon Wayans wasn't in Batman Forever, but he still gets paid for it. So maybe it was that one? So it's that one or Batman Returns? Well, I guess because he was going to be in this one, but then it was cut out. Then I guess he was thinking, well, I got a 2-picture deal, so maybe they'll follow through on this, and that didn't happen either. So I was trying to see if there was an interview with Marlon Wayans talking about it. Just yeah, there's some trailers like what if Batman Forever was directed by Tim Burton? What if Batman and Robin was directed by Tim Burton? Pretty interesting trailers with the way they were edited. I would say in retrospect, I would love to see more what Tim Burton, Michael Keaton would have done with them instead of what we got. That's also kind of the thing about that is the shame that we didn't get to find out and see what happened. Like, what would Tim Burton, Michael Keaton done with a Batman 3? What would they have done with a Batman 4? In retrospect, I would have been much curious to see how that all would entail and how that all would come out. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. What can you do? God damn, explosions running rampant. Just blow the shit out of everything. Just blow everything up. I mean, that's a pretty good stunt. They get the fuck out of my face. Although it's a bit weird that Batman wants to get into jail. I'm like, this is the same guy we saw earlier that put a fucking bomb on someone's chest, smiled, punched him into a container, and the guy blew up. Like, if he could do that, why can't we just get rid of this guy? But maybe it's because of this, where it's not about the guy, it's about her and saving her and wanting her to change. Maybe that's what it is. I thought that was a nice piece of dialogue where the same split right down the middle. Now you see the eyes are a bit different. Usually he has the black stuff around it, but in that up close there's none of that because of the reveal. But usually you see a bit more black. Which most of the Batmans did that because, like, in the shadows, they don't want to see, here's a piece of skin, then continue. That's why I thought it was the right decision to implement that within the movie in The Batman. Like, Robert Pattinson takes it off and you still see it there. I thought that was, again, right decision. You're fired. Michelle Pfeiffer just plays this certain craziness, insanity off very well. But you feel bad for her too. They don't say one for next Christmas. Because this will be live number 8. They have that poor guy, like, obviously it wasn't Michael Keaton, but whoever it was that had covered himself, is like all this fucking sparks of shit falling on him in these wide shots. He's like, shit! Oh, shit! God damn, there's all that shit on. What was the line I heard about, when people complain about this, the kids going, Mommy, what's that stuff coming out of his mouth? It's, I don't know. Jello. Fucking jello. Melted jello. The pudding pops. Then you see the remains of Christopher Walken. I mean, this stuff is pretty horrific to a kid. Like, the look of that and the way Humpty Dumpty there is looking. Shit. I picked the cute one. He does look like an egg. It's the Eggman. Dr. Robotnik. You just imagine Batman telling this to Alfred later on. I just saw the weirdest shit today. I saw one woman kiss a guy, and the guy became fried bacon. And I saw a bunch of fucking penguins, almost as up to my waist, dragging some Mr. Eggman, Mr. Robotnik, Mr. White Fat Albert, dragged down the pipeline by these penguins out to sea. And trust me, Alfred, I didn't take no acid. I didn't take none of that bad shit. No hallucinations from the Scarecrow. But it is unique and is original. I'll give you that. And God forbid we have a little bit more of that in today's age. With every fucking Marvel film feeling like the same goddamn movie. But yeah, Michael Keaton, I mean, let's be honest, he was never... He did these movies for the money and for the fame that he got him. And hey, it is what it is. But I didn't... Maybe because he felt, there wasn't much written on the page for Bruce Wayne for him to do. So, I can understand that. I think he does a really good job for what he's given. But again, if you're talking about more in-depth character, like Clean and Sober and in other movies, even Beetlejuice, he's given more to do as a performer. Like, he doesn't have much dialogue in these movies. Like, most of the character is fascination with Selina Kyle. I think that's the same cat that Selina had in her apartment in the beginning of the film, I believe. And at the end of the first Batman, you had Batman come into view, and in this one you got Catwoman come into view. And like I said, it's just too bad we never got the third Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman movie. That would have been really nice to see. And yeah, and then it's like, okay, we don't bring him back as Batman for a Batgirl movie and a Flash movie. What a fucking waste. And then the shit show it's been. Goodwill towards men and women. Once again, big credit to Danny Elfman. Great job on the score. Definitely gives also the visuals. Gotham is definitely a unique setting in this universe. Doesn't just look like New York or Chicago. Looks like Gotham. And then on top of that, like, the music is really, it gives a Christmas feeling with so it makes it have a different aesthetic compared to the first Batman. Like I said, I do have little nitpicks. The stuff with the penguins is a bit goofy at times. Pretty goofy. There's certain nitpicks, like the one girl, why did she not just knock herself down instead of staying on the ledge? Did Batman ever really prove that he didn't kill the girl? Like, okay, he proved that the Penguin was an asshole, but did that automatically also prove... Actually, I'm trying to remember what Penguin said with the dialogue. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. And I'm just being stupid, but... So I'll let that one go, but the... Like I said, Michael Keaton Batman... You know, he's not... I'm not going to say he's not in it a lot, but you do get that feeling because there's time with Dan DeVito, there's time with Christopher Walken, there's time with Michelle Pfeiffer. Granted, all those elements worked as well. Maybe people wanted a bit more Bruce Wayne Batman. And some people didn't like the Tim Burton quirkiness. I appreciated it. And it does make it seem, like I said, a bit more unique and original for a sequel. As we go through the credits, I'm kind of going to fast forward a bit to the cast. Like I said, Dan Elfman did a good job. Yeah, I forgot Stan Winston worked on this. But I did think of Stan Winston's work. This one always flies by me. No pun intended. And like I said, Batman Forever, it is... Batman and Robin sucks ass. And Batman Forever holds up less and less as the years go on for me. To the point, it probably is going to be one day where I just do say I hate the movie. But right now I'm like, it's there. Michael Keaton, Dan DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken, great actor. Yeah, Michael Murphy. Pat Hingle. They say he's worked with Clint Eastwood among other stuff. Dud Jones is the Thin Clown. Dud Jones, who would later work on Hellboy films and other stuff. Paul Reubens, Diane Salinger from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But yeah, Dud Jones. That's definitely a name people recognize nowadays. I mean, what was the name of the big clown? Let me go back. Or it's not clown, but... Let's see. Vincent Schiavelli, Josh Swartzwell, Rick Zumwalt is Tattoo Strongman. Rick Zumwalt, I think that's Bull Hurley from Over the Top. That got the bomb to his bomb to him. And Sean Whalen is Paperboy. Okay, was that the same Sean Whalen from? Is that the same one from? Or is that a different one from People Under the Stairs? Roach, or is that a different Sean Whalen? I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know. Face to Face. Makes you think of that song from that shitty movie. Going face to face. But yeah, this is Batman Returns. And on the special features here, we got commentary by Tim Burton. Shadows of the Bat Part 4, Dark Side of the Night, how the sequel came to fruition, Back of the Dead, The Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin, production design, costumes, makeup, inside the music of Batman Returns. And yeah, there you go. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Vonte. And we will see you guys later.